Hollyoaks star talks Ste James wedding drama. Hollyoaks will give fans something to smile about next week, as Ste and James finally tie the knot. Unsurprisingly, the wedding is not without its drama, as Ste goes missing on the morning of his big day. Meaning it's a race against time to find him. When he's finally reunited with James, Ste suffers a crisis of confidence over whether getting married is actually the right decision after all. Here, Kieran Richardson, who plays Ste, shares more details of what's in store. Ste and Sienna had such a good friendship. What do you think it is that makes them work? When you're in love, often it's opposites attract, and I think that can happen in friendships too. This is the case in my real-life friendships. We're not all the same, and I think that's why we get on. Some of my friends are more confident than me, so I encourage them to do things. I think Ste and Sienna are like that. Sienna is brave enough to do darker, scarier things than Ste. I think that's why they get on, because he wants to be a bit like her, more strong-willed. So it makes for a great friendship. The comedy element as well as the capers they get into. Double quote. Do you think Sienna will be able to forgive her BFF before the big day? All that Ste needs to do is flutter his eyelashes. I know that she can be quite stubborn, but I think deep down she's got a real soft spot in her heart for Ste. They've been through so much together in such a short space of time, so I think she'd find it easier to forgive him in the end. She'd be stupid not to, as she's desperate to get to that wedding. Double quote. This isn't Ste's first time down the aisle, and him and James are so different. What is it about their relationship that is different from the rest and makes them work so well together? They've got the drama which you have to have in a soap couple. If they all got along all the time, it wouldn't be interesting for the audience to watch. You need to have arguments to show that you care, that the other person is doing something that you don't agree with. And I think that happens quite a lot with Ste and James. Also, opposites attract also applies here with Ste and James. They couldn't be more different, with one dressed in a tracksuit and one in a suit, which will become quite apt on the actual wedding day. Double quote. Ste and James decide to have different stag do's and arrange each other's. What lies in store for James? James' stag do is wine, cheese and the finer things in life. I assume he's with all of his solicitor mates drinking some posh whiskey and listening to opera music, dressed really smart. In contrast to Ste's, which will be colourful, vibrant, steps and S-Club 7 camp. Double quote. We see that Ste goes missing the morning of the wedding. Will Ste get to the wedding in time? It's a bit of a rush, and there's a funny scene in a taxi as clothing is strewn all over. How we turn up to the wedding might not be how the audience expect. Double quote. Ste seems to get cold feet before the wedding, worrying it'll be him making all the changes and compromises. What can James do to reassure him? Ste gets cold feet at the last minute after all the conversations prior to the wedding, in which he is willing to compromise on how they want the wedding to be, and James is not wanting to budge. Ste has the last minute panic, thinking it's just going to be him making the changes. And he's worried that James isn't going to do anything to get to Ste's level, so there is a conversation that happens just before the wedding. After Ste's been somewhere in Chester the night before, James manages to wear his heart on his sleeve and be open with his fiancée. He promises that it's not going to be how Ste thinks it is in his head, and encourages him to stop catastrophizing everything, just let love lead the way. Double quote. What impact do you think marriage will have on the couple? It will cement them together in each other's lives. At the minute I'm very passionate about the Lomax set, and I want Ste and James to live there, but currently they are living at the Nightingales. They have two families, so hopefully soon they can integrate together. I don't know where we'll be this time next year, because it is so planned and anything can happen. But I would like them to stay together. I wouldn't like it to be all hearts, sunshine and flowers though. I would like them to have some kind of push and pull drama in their lives, just to keep it spicy and alive. Double quote. There's been a lot of backing and forthing with outfit ideas for the grooms. What can we expect from their wedding attire? This mood board has popped up in several episodes. So far we've had a little fashion show thanks to Scott. But on the actual wedding day we won't be getting married in the suits that we picked. Double quote. Looking back, which wedding was the most fun to film? My favorite wedding that I have filmed, even though it was a disaster, was the bus crash stunt years ago. It was Ste and Doug having a double wedding with Cindy and Reese. There were a busload of teenagers, with Bart on drugs and Sinead screaming at him. We had Evil Muddy, the final destination moment. Everything blew up. It was an epic stunt to film on location and all the cast were amazing. There were sensational performances, especially from Claire Cooper, who played Jackie McQueen, because Reese was dying in her arms. There were so much soapy happenings going on, and we also won a soap award for it, so it's a memorable one. Double quote. What was it like filming in Chester? It was amazing to film in Chester because the show is set there, and when we go there it's just like people who actually live in Chester walking past being like, "We love Hollyoaks." We had a great reaction from the people standing by watching, and it's such a beautiful city. It's amazing when we get to go there. It was just lovely jubbly. Double quote. If you could choose the song for Ste and James' first dance, what do you think would be the perfect one would be? Ste would like Rihanna or Britney Spears, but I don't think James would like that, so it would have to be somewhere in between. Maybe Mariah Carey and Westlife Against All Odds. I think that's fitting because people many years ago would never have thought those two characters would have got together, let alone get married. Double quote. Fans went wild after you were recently spotted with Emmett J. Scanlon on the wedding location shoot. How did that come about, and can fans expect a Ste and reunion anytime soon? Emmett actually lives in Chester and was randomly walking past. One of our makeup artists spotted him and was like, "Your little Ste's getting married over there," so he came to say hello. There's a scene actually where Ste's tied to a lamppost and a passerby takes pictures of him because he finds it funny. And we were thinking, wouldn't it be amazing if we actually got Emmett to play the passerby? It would work because he looks so different at the minute. He's in another show and he's got to shave his beard, so he looks a bit unrecognizable, really young actually. It was so weird on the day because there were fans watching and crew members, so when we were stood together, I think people were expecting something to happen, but we just had a little catch up. It was amazing to see him. Obviously I'd love for a Ste and reunion to happen. I don't think that will be anytime soon, but who knows what the future holds. Double quote. What 3 words would you use to sum up Ste and James' wedding? Camp, meaningful, sad, and I only say sad because something sad happens at the very end. Double quote. Hollyoaks streams first online via Channel 4, with new episodes dropping each weekday morning. The show airs Mondays to Fridays at 6:30 p.m. on Channel 4, and at 7 p.m. on E4. Read more Hollyoaks spoilers on our dedicated homepage. You might also like Animal Crossing New Horizons is finally announced on Nintendo Switch. How to watch Amazon Prime on your TV, smartphone and tablet, and enjoy Good Omens online. Nintendo to release 2 new Switch consoles this year.